Welcome to Vlogmas 2024, and today we're going to talk about what's in my bags. And we're going to talk all about it right after the intro. All right, shout out to Fall Guy 1771 for leaving in the comments that he wanted me to do an in the bag, and I'd been planning on doing one, but this was a kick in the butt. I needed to do it. And so, as I teased in the first little intro there, is it's in the bags, because let's face it, I have a bag problem, I have a disc problem, and I have different bags for different things. So I thought I'd go through kind of where I am right now with the different bags. And so the first thing, I was going to show my glow bag. And I've showed this about last month about doing glow, and I've got these little LEDs inside this bag. I won this bag back, I think it was the Am Worlds in '96. And so this bag is older than my kids. It's older than a lot of you guys out there. Not some of you old timers with me, but you understand. So I've had this bag forever. And it makes a great little glow bag. And so some of what I had to do was figure out what were the best discs that I wanted based on glow and based on their flight characteristics. And the thing that I'm finding out about glow is I've played a few and you know, but the brighter stuff, let's face it, the MVP, the Axiom and stuff like that is so good, but it's so bright. You got to be careful not to mess up your night vision. You want the stuff that is going to hold the glow longest. And so let's just start with the putters. The Space Race putter in the range, basically like the Berg, I'm using, it's a little straighter, flippier than the Berg. I'm using that as kind of my go-to putter, and you know, my straight shot, can lean in it, rely on it. Well, then for my regular Berg, I've got a glow Berg. Shout out to Adam McAllister and Disc After Dark. He does a great job with the glow rounds. He goes to a lot of the tournaments and stuff like that. Make sure you give him a holler. Check him out, Disc After Dark. I wanted to give him a little love, and so that's the Berg I use at night. Great glow Berg. Okay, then I have as my my real flippy. You know, I love my birdies, and this is the Glyph. And it actually holds glow pretty well. I didn't realize it was color glow when I got it, and I'm real happy about that because it fits in my bag. Because let's face it, a lot of glow rounds are not going to be super distance, so you want more control and more touch, and this is great to have out on the course. Okay, and then for my approach shot, the best one I've found is this glow harp that I can use. It's just really reliable. It's going to fade back at the end. Great for the forehand approach shots or just that hyzer dropping in. All right, got to go quick because I got more bags. Sorry, I'm going to speed things up. So then I've got a beat up flippy hex that I got from my buddy Mike Laminack, and so it's more almost like an uplink as far as it's nice and flippy. It's straight with a good flippiness to it, but it's not that dead straight. And then I've got a brand new hex that is kind of that replacing my vector in a sense, trying to make it replace the vector, but since it's brand new, it's got a little more stability than I want. I need to beat this up a little bit to be that nice, smooth, right down the middle. Then for a little extra stability, I've got an Eclipse reactor. And these guys, obviously, I'm doing a lot of MVP because I love their glow, and I love, especially the mid-ranges are just so good. And then when I need to step up at another level, I've got a second reactor in here. I don't know why that, so yeah, that kind of, yeah, it was just an extra one. Just one glow reactor is enough right now. Okay, so then if I need to step up with I've been playing around with this, I kind of like it. The resistor is a 6.540 3.5, and so it is just basically a meat hook. A lot of times just making utility shots in the woods, that's a fun one. But I haven't played with it a lot, but I'm liking it. Especially because it's in glow, you're having fun. And then this is a workhorse. Besides my Bergs and my Birdie / Glyph and my Hex, the Crave has been getting a lot of use out in the glow rounds here because it's just laser straight, just put it right out there, and just a wonderful disc. And then I got my, this is an old glow Wraith. And the thing is, this thing is super beef. So I use it as anything I need overstable utility, I'm pulling this out. And so if I need to chop a forehand or anything like that, it's just a great little glow Wraith. And then finally, I picked up the Tour of Terror, the Wave. Dang it, I'm pretty sure it's a Wave. Yeah, it's a Wave. and it's been my go-to driver out there. Now, what's interesting is I'm finding that, you know, I love my MVP and stuff. It's just they take a licking and keep on ticking. This one's getting chewed up more than any other disc I've had. I haven't played a lot of rounds with it, but I put in a decent number, but it's just getting those nicks and stuff in it. But other than that, I just love this thing. I just put it out there and I can just trust it to just cruise on down the road. So really like it a lot. I just wish it wouldn't beat up quite as much on that. And so that's my quick down and dirty for my glow bag with my good old, you know, 1996 bag. All right. So then here's the reason why I talk about having different bags. It's because it depends on different courses and what you're doing. You know, I love my one disc rounds. And most of the time when I go out to play, I'm trying to pare it down to the least number of discs that I need. And so I usually am running around. This is my favorite bag to run around with. I think, I think it's the MVP beaker, if I remember right. Oh, also you got to have a good glow mini. So I believe it's the MVP beaker. And so out of the glow, I will bring back the range, throw that in here. And then I also grabbing my reactor. Actually grabbing a decent number. Okay, so then I also grab inside of this, if I've got room. It really depends on what I'm playing. So these might make it in there. The hexes, the harp, and then the reactors and stuff like that, depending on what I need. But if I'm not going with the glow, if I'm trying to pare it down, I always usually have the range and a Berg. This is my putting Berg, but also I throw it. I can just lean on these two. This one's a little more flippy, where this is a little more stable. But then I have my bullseye birdie that I love, and it is just it just turns over and just goes around the corner. But I don't want to lose it. You know, I've got a lot of good memories with this. So, and I can't find the one, but my R2 spins replaces it. They've got a pretty good flip to it. But I've lost the one that has kind of my octopus on it. I don't know where it is, but that's been replacing that. So good thing I've got a couple others that I can put in here. And this is just my turnover putter shot. I love it a lot. And then along with my reactor hex, I will have the uplink, the pyro, and those kind of, I want to have an understable, medium, just straight shot, and then an overstable. And the pyro is just so reliable. Now, if I need to go bigger, depending on, I'll talk about that on my next bag. Don't get distracted there, Pete. And then kind of the things, depending on the course and what's going on, usually I'll throw in my Minion Valkyrie, just a super flippy Valkyrie, and then a wonderful, reliable Thunderbird. So those cover a lot of bases that I can throw a lot of shots with those. I just recently got this guy, and it's the Trail. Yeah, I always have to double check. Yeah, it's the Trail. And I'm really liking it. The numbers are 10, 5, -1, 1, and it's kind of like the Wave. It's just, this is such a reliable, just push it down the middle, and it's going to hold that nice straight line. I like flippy and straight more than I like overstable. And then, speaking of the opposite of that, my utility disc, this is my Champion Boss from forever, and it is still just a meat hook that I can use to throw on forehand, backhand, and it's just going to crash. And then my reliable Relativity, this is my distance driver when I need to push it out even farther than, say, like the Trail or something like that. And it doesn't quite have the flip up of my tennis ball that I left in Germany, but it's getting there, and it's just that reliable. I put it out on a little hyzer, and it just pops up and cruises, and I love that a lot. But that's kind of my bare bones bag. I'll trade some of those in and out depending on what's going on, but I usually try to limit it to this unless I'm going to a tournament or getting serious about something. If I'm going to go to a tournament or I got to go to a course that I'm not sure about, I'll throw a couple extra in besides those. I may throw in my Pig that's pretty beat up. This is a great, I love it for escape thumber rollers, forehand rollers to get out of the woods. It's just a nice straight shot, but I really like it for rollers. Then I'll throw in my deflector. I love the deflector. It's way more overstable than the pyro, and the pyro is pretty overstable, but this thing is just crashes, and I can trust it, and when I need to get it to crash, the deflector does a great job. And I had a Firebird in here, and I'm kind of switching up trying the Fireball just because I had a stash of these, and I'm checking it out. I kind of go back and forth. I don't know about you, but sometimes I just decide I want to change up a little bit, but they're all basically the same disc. I'm just looking for a disc that's going to fly the same way. It may be a Firebird, it may be a Fireball, it may be something else, maybe a Felon, depends on the flavor of the month. Now, I generally stay with the Innova, what I grew up on in a sense, and then MVP, and then obviously I'm throwing in a little Castoplast, but those are the ones that I hang out in. I know the Innova the best, and then I love MVP, and then, the Berg, Castoplast. Gotta like. But then I have a good old, a little more overstable, not overstable, but just very stable, very predictable Valkyrie. It's sort of like pushing a little farther than say it's kind of like the Thunderbird, and it kind of trade out. That's why I don't always put this one in, but sometimes the Thunderbird, I don't want the exact flight, and this one may have a little bit different flight characteristic to it. And then finally, I just have a nice Halo Wraith from the River Riot 2023 tournament. Did pretty well on that one, but I just like having a nice, reliable, overstable, semi-overstable 11-speed that I can just throw out there and let it crash in. Now the thing is I have a bunch more discs that I can rotate in and out. That's kind of where I am right now. I will then also gauge if I'm going to go to a tournament or a course that has some different things. I may switch a few things out, but that's kind of where I'm going. I want to have from putter all the way up to long distance driver, these discs that I like, that I can kind of relate to. I've been around the block with them a few times. I want them to fit a certain gap that I make sure that I've kind of got everything covered. And I think I do a pretty good job. But what will inevitably happen if I'm going to a tournament or I'm going to a new course, I sit here and just stare at all my discs, and I kind of decide, do I need to take this? Do I need to leave this one out? I always want to have backups. That's why I have extra. It's sad. But that's where I'm at right now. I hope that helps. But most of the time, I'm really just running around with this bag with maybe about 10 discs in. That's how I generally run, unless I know I'm not going to be sure about all the shots I'm going to take. Inverness, I could play that course blindfold, so I only need a couple discs. And then finally, I'm trying to build a remix bag, simply because I've been enjoying remix. I've got a bunch of them. And this one, I'm just trying to see if I can find some discs in here that are maybe going to talk to me. So I'm giving the full gamut of the remix, except for I throw a Berg and the range in here for putting, because as good as the Eldritches and the Detonator, even though I love the name of it, putting wise, I need my Berg and my range. But so I've just got this bag that I'm kind of schlepping around right now with. And so you got the Eldritch putter and the Detonator, and this is a pretty straight with a pretty good stability at the end, and this one has a little bit more stability. It's a little more of a meat hook, not too much, but so good low putters, good throwing putters. So then I'm going with my my mid-ranges. So my creature basically feels like an uplink. It's a nice -3 turn, so I throw it out there and just let it cruise on around. Then I've got my, I got 2 torpedoes in here, Overkill. So this is a 5501, and this is really flies a lot like my Vector. It needs to be beat up just a little bit more to be just like my Vector, but it flies like the Mustang, if you're familiar with that, and just cruise right on down with a nice bit of stability to it. But then when I need, this basically flies like a Pyro. The Gladius is supposed to be a 55 -051, but something about this Glow Gladius is just a meat hook. I think the other disc that's supposed to be more like the Pyro is the Battleship, and I can't find it for the life of me. I may have left it on the course when I was up in Tennessee, because I have no idea where it is. But this sucker doesn't fit the numbers on it, and it's just a chunky, overstable mid-range. I like it a lot, though. Okay, and then I'm just gonna, I don't have these in exact order or anything, but so, love the Spartans. These remind me a lot of my Valkyries, and you know I love my Valkyries, so I've got a good batch of these that I'm trying to have work in a couple. I need to beat up a couple of these a little bit more to make them even extra flippy, but right now they're all pretty much brand new. I've got a stack of them, but I'm really liking the Spartans. Then I've got, I don't know why I have 2 in here. I've got the Troll, which is basically like a T-Bird. It's a 7.5, 4.502, and it's just a beautiful, reliable, just throw it out there, let it fade off at the end. Very controllable. Great workhorse disc. Let's see, we got the Goliath, which is a 10.5, 4.5, minus 1, 2.5. And it's not, it kind of reminds me of the Rumble. Where have we got the Rumble in here somewhere? Yep. The Rumble is a 10, 5, minus 1, 2. And I feel like of these two, this one pushes a little straighter before it fades, where this one's got a little more fade to it. So if I had to eject one from the bag, I'd probably get rid of the Goliath and just keep the Rumble. But right now I'm playing with both of them. I like both of them. I'm liking the 10 speed, 10.5 speed. It's a good little range to throw. All right, then we have the Ronin. Terrible color, being colorblind, I'm going to lose this disc because red-green, but it's an 8, 4.5, 02. It's kind of like a T-Bird 3. It just pushes a little bit farther, but I like it a lot. I wish it was a different color because I'm really enjoying this. And I bought enough. I don't need to buy a different color because, yeah. But I'll throw it till I lose it. Then the Haymaker is basically a Firebird. It's just that it's a 9404, so it's just going to dump. In the glow, I forgot I had this in the glow bag, and then I shifted it over here. But that's what I would also have in the glow bag. So forgot about that. Another Spartan. And then we have the Behemoth, which is basically, I think of this a lot like the Destroyer. Yeah, it's a 12, 4.5, 1, 3. And it's just, it does it just out and crash on back here. And so one of the reasons why I've got multiples in here is to remind me like I've got 3 of these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to beat the crap out of one of them, keep one slightly beat and one brand new, so I cover the range in that speed right there. So hopefully I'll have a flippy, a semi-straight, and then a dump off to the left. So that's kind of what I got going on there. And then the final one is the Mercenary. And I just got this one, and this kind of reminds me of the Crave. It's a 6.5, minus 2, 1, and it's a nice flying, just kind of cruise on down. I'm sure some of y'all know the numbers of these, what they do, and who they relate to as far as the other molds that MVP makes. But I'm really enjoying just playing with this MVP bag because it's almost like learning the game over again in some ways and not. It just keeps things a little bit intriguing, spicy, fun, you know. And so, yeah, that's it. That is, I tried to go as fast as I can, but yeah, I've literally got 4 bags here for depending on what's going on. And I think you should always, you know, you don't need to carry everything every time you go out to play. Shape your bag according to where you're going to go and what you're going to do. Now, obviously, I've got a lot more discs. If you're interested, I haven't been a disc collector and finding, you know, that special disc or whatever. Most of these I've bought on my own. I've played with them or I've thrown them. I've bought them to play with them. I've got some special discs down here, but if you'd like me to take a video and talk about more discs, I'd be happy to. I'm not the super connoisseur. I bought all these so I could play with them and usually so I could draw on them or do stuff like that. And so anyway, be happy to do that. Leave some messages in the comments. Say, hey, yeah, I'd love to see more about these other discs here, and I'll try to do something with that. Okay, I talked fast. I've had a little caffeine trying to get through this so it's not too boring. I hope that helps. Please leave some comments. Ask me some questions. I tried to give you a quick overview. And to be honest, what usually happens is I go, okay, I'm going to go play this course. What disc do I want? And I'll just rifle through here and go, I haven't played with that one in a while. Throw it in the bag. But they're all filling certain slots that I'm thinking in my head. Do I have understable, straight, overstable, and any utility discs? And that's kind of how I build my bag. But I'm not super brand specific. I'm obviously more an MVP, but if I find a disc I like I've got some other brands in here, I will throw them in as well. It's just kind of the flavor of the month, what I'm liking to play with, and that's it. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me. If you're here to the end, I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe down below. I'm trying to get to 5,000, and you could really help me with that. And with that being said, thank you so much for being with me, and I hope to see you out on the course.